Eastern PA Weather 30 meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for February 27th, 2018. A lot to get into in this video, and we're going to start off very calm, though. We have high pressure and control of our weather today sitting just to our south, so this is going to lead to mostly sunny skies today. Tonight will be mostly clear to start. I think you have a few clouds filtering in late, but we will have mostly sunny skies today and very pleasant afternoon with above normal temperatures in the middle 50s for most areas, maybe upper 50s down here by Philadelphia, but it'll feel very mild today. A little bit better than yesterday. You're going to come one up it from yesterday. So if you like yesterday after those clouds disappeared, you'll definitely like today, especially with wall-to-wall sunshine expected. Going further from this point, again, the clouds are going to increase late tonight. But just a few high clouds mixing in, not really a big deal just yet. On Wednesday morning, I think we're going to start off partly cloudy, then we'll have those clouds increase and thicken in the afternoon, and then we become cloudy overnight Wednesday night. This is all ahead of our next system, which is going to be a potentially impactful system. Now, the model guidance today has stepped away from the extreme impacts that we saw, that we noted in yesterday's video. We had the potential for very heavy rainfall, coastal flooding, beach erosion, high winds, that kind of thing. So they're kind of stepping away from that. We told you that there would be some variation over the next 48 hours, and this is today's version of it, where we did see some, basically the same general idea. However, there are some key synoptic features that are showing up that could change the ball game a little bit with this system overall. We still have a system that's cutting well to our west up near northern Indiana. There's the primary. This is going to slide eastward, but it's going to run into a block that's up here. There's a block in the northern Atlantic that is now developing. This is your negative NAO you probably heard about at different times, and it's going to force a redevelopment from this primary to a secondary down here, and that is going to take over as the new primary with time. So here's a look at Thursday evening. We have some showers just starting to move into the region in association mainly with this initial low that's out here over Ohio. This is still too warm for any kind of wintry precipitation at this point, so this is just rain. So coming in here with this transfer taking place from this one to this one, this is going to take over as a new primary and very slowly make its way out like this, okay? So that's the general synoptic idea. Same idea I gave you yesterday. There's just some different features starting to come into play that we're taking a look at now that'll have a bearing on what this does eventually with time. So this one's going to weaken. It's still holding on here overnight. This is Thursday night now, overnight, just after midnight. Primary is now taking over. Once this merges in with this, this storm is going to continue off like this. It's going to actually do a kind of like a little loop like this in retrograde, and then head out in that direction like that. So that's kind of like what we're expecting to do. Once the primary catches up there, the low occludes is what this is called, and it's going to do a little loop in retrograde, and then it's going to head eastward again and continue on its path. The thing that's coming into focus now, though, and is being highlighted on many of these models, is a cold conveyor belt. Now, this is something you don't hear me talk about very often because this doesn't happen very often. You have a very strong area low pressure. Again, this was up here like this, and it's starting to make its turn back here like this, and then it's going to continue out. Okay? So this is in this process by the time we get to very early Friday morning. The part I want you to pay attention to, though, is this line right in here. Very heavy precipitation. This is a cold conveyor belt, and this is important because of where this sets up. Under that heavier precipitation, you have an upper level low present also. There's really no cold air source involved with the system, but this having this cold conveyor belt present will give you the opportunity for some dynamic cooling to take over, and this basically can manufacture its own cold air, changing rain to snow for some areas. And it's gotten a little bit more pronounced with this feature. The GFS and the Canadian models haven't really caught on. They've caught on to the feature itself, but haven't really responded with the temperatures and the precipitation types yet. So you won't see much on the snow maps with that. But the European model has kind of been leading the way with this the last couple days, and is now starting to get some snow amounts into parts of eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey. So it's something we have to keep an eye on. I'm going to go over to the NAM now just to illustrate. This is a long-range NAM. I'm not using this anything other for an example purposes because we really don't like to use it at this point. But you have one low transferring into the other offshore. Watch what it does, though. Look at the precipitation type. This is Thursday evening, showing rain everywhere, which is expected to start everywhere. Then you get some dynamic cooling taking place at first in the higher elevations, and then the next frame here, and this runs out of range now, but you can see some dynamic cooling processes where the rain is changing to snow from northwest to southeast, and as to how far southeast this gets is uncertain yet, or where exactly this cold conveyor belt sets up. But the whole idea here is, under that heaviest area of precipitation, you could have enough dynamic cooling take place where you can change that rain over to snow even if temperatures are marginal, like 35, 36. You get those big fat flakes coming down, and then you can obviously lower the temperatures as snow's falling. But you're pulling the colder air from the upper levels because of the heavier precip coming down. So if that is the case, we could be dealing with a rain to snow situation in the interior. If the precipitation lightens up, you go back over to rain. When it gets heavier again, you go back over to snow. So it's one of those deals favoring elevation, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this closely, because I don't think this is just this has potential to do something outside of elevation also. It's just going to depend on where that sets up and how heavy those rates are. So something we're going to be following over the next couple of days to see what this does. But either way, this is mostly a rainstorm. Again, the wind, since this is further offshore, a little bit more progressive now. It's going to really wrap up here on Friday morning, but might be far enough off the coast where just the coast gets into the windier conditions. I think you can still have winds generally 12 to 20 miles per hour, higher gusts to 30, 35. Not as impactful as what we saw yesterday with gusts up to 50. All right, that's a huge difference. Also, the rain amounts are cut down significantly. We're probably talking about an inch, inch and a half, as opposed to 2 or 3. So we'll see how this works out. We have a couple days to look at this yet and narrow down. I think we're still going to see some flopping back and forth on the guidance in the meantime. But it does still look like Saturday and Sunday are going to be delightful as far as sky condition. We're partly cloudy here on Saturday, and then mostly sunny here on Sunday. Both days calm winds, but temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler than we've been used to lately, so we're going to be back down in the 40s for highs. Not terribly cold, but still slightly near to slightly below average during this period. And then Monday is the final day in our forecast period, and we are looking at mostly sunny skies once again. We're going to have another system off to the west here. We're going to have to watch for the 6th to the 7th of March, and that could also have wintry implications across the region. We'll see. One storm at a time. We're focusing definitely on this one coming in here for Thursday, and showers at first, then rain overnight, changing to snow in some areas. Wrapping up Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon we're just tapering off to showers and maybe some partial clearing later in the day. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is our outlook for February 27th, 2018. Have a great Tuesday.